Welcome to next video. Today we will see how to write a program in C language for a stack using array. So here I am using an online compiler and we're going to implement a program in C language. If you haven't watched my previous videos on introduction of stack and how to write an algorithm for a stack, then do watch it before coming to this video. Let's start by taking an array. So here I'll take one stack. This is my array of size 5. Now here I'm taking this stack out of this main function because we are declaring it as a global because this stack is going to be used in the multiple functions. That's why we are making it as global. And instead of giving this 5 as a hardcode value, I'll declare one constant variable as a max size and I'll give that max size as a 5. For example, it's like define and I'll give one variable max size. You can give any name which you want. I'll give the size as 5. So this is how we declare the constant. And instead of using this 5, I'm going to use the max size variable. So in future, if I have to change the size of this stack, so I'll just directly change it from here 5 to 20. Instead of going into the entire program and making changes to every line, I'll come to the first line, I'll make the changes in the first line. So this is how we are going to use this global variable because max size is the variable which is going to be used multiple times in the function. So next, after declaring the array, next is we need and top variable which should be equal to -1 at the initial stage. Next, after this, coming to the main function. So here in the main function, first step is I'm going to ask user to enter its value, to enter its choice. If the user want to perform push operation, whether pop operation or any display operation. So first I'll give the user the choice, like enter your choice. So here if user wants to perform a push operation, user will enter 1, 2 for pop operation, 3 for display. Display will display all the elements that are present in the stack. So to accept this user, first I'll need to declare one variable called as integer choice and I'll write one scanf percent d and percent of choice. So in choice, the user will enter the choice whether it has to perform push, pop or display operation. After this, I'll use the switch case. In switch case, I'm going to give the choice which has the user has entered, that is 1, 2 or 3, and this 1, 2, 3 choice has been saved into the variable called as ch. So in the switch, ch will go, and in that here we have case if 1, suppose if user, sorry, it will not be in this quotes, if, because it is an integer value. So if case is 1, then I'm going to call a push function which we will be writing after this main function. And after this push, I'm going to call the break. Similarly, case 2 for pop operation and case 3 for display operation. So this is how your switch case will be. So the execution will start from the main function. It will come first, it will print the enter the choice, it will give the user's option, it will accept the value, and it will go into this switch case. If user has entered 1, it will go to the push function. If user has entered 2, it will go to pop. If user has 3, it will go to the display function. Now next is to write this push function. So I'm going to write this push function outside this main and above this main function. So it is always a good practice to write the function outside the main, that is before the main. Or if you want to write this push function after the main function, then you need to give the prototype at the first line. So here I'm going to write the push function before the main So here I'm going to write void push function. Here the push function has no any return type. That's why I'm giving here return type as void. So here refer this algorithm which we have seen in the previous video. To write this push function, we are going to refer this same algorithm. So in the algorithm, the first line is to check whether the stack is overflow or not. So as soon as we come to the push function, the first step we need to check is whether my stack is full or not. So here we are going to check by using the top value. So if my top equal to size minus 1. So here the variable for my size is max size minus 1. So if, for example, if the max size is my 5, so if my top is value is pointing to 4, that means my stack is been full. So in that case, I'm going to write a printf that stack is overflow. And if the max size minus 1, if top is not equal to pointing to minus max size minus 1, that means there is some space still remaining in my stack. And in that case, we'll write an else part. So in the else part, here the first step is to increment the top, and the next is to save the element into the stack of the top. Now here the element which we have written here x, there's nothing but the element which we have to push into the stack. Now either we can pass it in this function, or we can accept that x element in this else part itself. For example, if here I'll write printf, I'll write enter element to push, means that we'll ask the user to enter the element that it has to be pushed into the stack. So here I'll give /n, give comma. Now to accept the element that has been entered by the user, we need to save it into one variable. So in the starting of this push function, I'll take one variable x, which we have in this algorithm we have taken as a parameter for this push function. So this x, I'll take a scanner and I'll accept that element which has been entered by the user into x. Now, the element which has been entered by the user is saved into my x. Now we can follow the rest of the algorithm. That is, first we'll increment the top value. That is, top equals to top plus 1. We have incremented the value, and now we have to save this x element into the stack and into the value of top. So I write stack of top. This is how we save the element in an array, equal to x. And this is the end of our push function. So first, as soon as we come to the push function, first we are checking whether the stack is full or not. If the stack is not full, then we are going to implement the rest of part. In this rest of part, we are first accepting the value which needs to be pushed into the stack from the user, and then we are going to increment the top pointer, and then we are going to save this x element into the stack. So this is how our push function will work. Now next is the pop function. So after the push function has completed, that is at the end of the push functions, here it is always better way to give the comments so that we can understand. We won't get confused between the brackets. This is the end of push function. Now next, after this push, we are going to write the pop operations. So again, I'm going to write void pop, and in this pop, first we are going to check the whether the top is pointing to -1. That means my stack is empty or not. So the first condition in this pop function is to check whether stack is empty or not. Because if the stack is empty, then there is nothing that we can pop from the stack. So first we will check if the top is pointing to -1. If it is pointing to -1, that means stack is empty. So stack is empty. And if if the top is not pointing to -1, that means we have the else part. And in this else part, we'll write the pop operations. So if you refer the algorithm in the else part, there are only two steps. First, we are going to print the element which is going to be popped out. Means we will keep the track which element has been popped out. And as soon as we pop the element, the next line is to decrement the top pointer. So to print the stack of top, I'll write printf and I'll write a statement pop element equal to, and here I'll give %d, and here I'll give stack of top. So first we'll print the element which is at the top of the stack. That means whatever the element is present on the top of the stack, that is going to be popped out. That means that is going to be deleted. So first we have printed the element, and after printing the element, then we are going to remove that element by decrementing the top. That is top equals to top -1. Correct? So here don't get confused. The correct flow of this pop function is first we are going to print the top of the stack, because if suppose we return the top equal to top -1 first before printing the element which has been popped out will not be the correct one. So first we will print the element that is the top of the stack, and then we are going to decrement the pointer. So this is the complete entire pop function. Now next, after this pop, we have another function. I'll write here end of pop function. So next is the display function. So display is simple. We just have to print the elements of the that are present into the stack. Now consider here the stack as your array, and if you want to print the elements from an array, we use a for loop. We use start location from 0 to the end of an array, to the size of an array, and we print each an element in this for loop. Same concept we are going to use in this display function. But before that, first we also need to check whether the stack is empty or not. Why? Because if the stack is empty, then there would be nothing to display from the stack. So the method which we have used in this pop function, if top equal to -1, that means stack is empty. Same function I'm going to copy and I'm going to write in this display function. So first it will, when it comes to the display function, it will check whether stack is empty or not. If stack is empty, it will print the stack is empty. Else it will go to the display part. So we'll write the display part into the else function. So here I'll just add one printf statement that current stack is. And after this, here I'm going to print all the elements that are present in the stack. So we'll need a for loop in that integer I equals to, and we are going to start the index of our stack, the index of our array is going to be start from 0. So I equals to 0 and I less than equal to. Now the endpoint. Endpoint is not the size of the stack which we have written here 5. The endpoint will be the value of the top, because the stack is between from 0 to top. So if my value of top is 2, then my stack will have the elements from 0 to 2. If my top value is 4, then my stack elements will have from 0 to 4. So the I is less than equal to will be top and I plus plus. So here I'll just simply print %d and stack of I. This is how we print the array elements. So the stack, whatever the top value is, my display function will print all the elements starting from 0 till top, one by one, using this for loop. So this is how your entire display function will work. Now, I think we have completed the entire program. We'll see whether we can run this program or not. So when I click on this run, so here I'm getting sticker. So I'll enter the choice. So I'll also write one here /n, rerun again. Yes. So it is asking me to enter push, pop, or display. Now suppose if I enter 2, it should, that means it should be popped. And now at the initial stage, my stack is empty. So after executing this to pop function, it should give me the output that the stack is empty. So if I press enter, it is giving me stack is empty. Again, if I rerun it again, now if I have to insert an element, so I'll press 1, I'll press enter. Yes, it is asking me enter the element to push. Suppose I have to enter an element 10. And if I enter, now here the problem is whenever we have to perform the next operation, always we have to rerun the program. So instead of that, it would be better if I run this push, pop, and display these operations into the loop until the user press exit. Means the user will always get the chance to enter the next operation till he or she wants to exit. So for that, here I'll give one more value 4 as exit, and here I'll give one more case 4 as exit. Here I'll give that exit and 0. So this is the by default inbuilt method to exit the loop. So if I'm giving exit and I'm going to write these cases in a loop. So here I will always want to ask the user to enter the choice. So I'll start the loop here. So here in this, we are going to use this do while loop. Why do while loop? Because the do while loop will give you chance to execute the statements at least once before checking the conditions. So at the first stage, we have to print this entire choice, push, pop, and display. So for that, we are going to use this do while loop. So we are going to start the do while loop here because we want to repeat the steps from here. So do, and at the after the switch case, I'm going to close this do loop and I'm going to write while, and the condition will be till my choice is not equal to 4 and then semicolon. So this while loop will get executed till the user enters the choice 4. That is 4 is nothing but the exit. As soon as the user has entered 4, the loop will get exited and will come out of the program. So now we'll rerun it again. So here we have got the exit 0 error. For that, what it's saying, it is giving the suggestion to include std library.h. So we'll copy this, and after this std.h, I'm going to paste it here and I'm going to rerun it again. Yes. So first we're going to push the element. So I'll enter 1. it is asking me to enter the element to push. So again, I'll enter 10, enter, and now I have to display. Or okay, we can insert one more element. Suppose I have to insert one more push. So I entered 1. Now I have to enter 20 and I'll enter. Again, it is asking me to enter whether I want to continue. Okay, I'll insert one more element and now I'll insert 30, and now it is again asking me to enter second next option. So now I have to display. That means what elements have been pushed into my stack. So I'll enter 3. So my current stack here is getting 10, 20 and 30. So first we have inserted 10, then 20 and then 30. So this is how we are going to execute the stack program. So after this, if I want to again delete the elements, so before that, I'll make the changes. Here are again, I'll write /n. Here enter your choice also, I'll give one more /n. And this current in this display function, I'll give some space. Okay. And one more thing we can improve here is instead of uh, giving an option 3 manually, what we can do is as soon as we perform the push operation or as soon as we perform the pop operations, the current stack should get displayed. Means after performing the push operations, when we enter the 30, immediately it should give me the number of the elements which are present in the stack. Means instead of manually giving this 3 display, what we can do, we can call this display function immediately after the push and pop function. So after this push function, else part, in this here, we can write this display function. So here display, we can call this display functions. Means after the element has been pushed, it will come to the else part and again it will call the display function. We can also call this in this pop function. And one more thing we can do is, for the better understanding, I'll, okay, instead of here, I'll give it in the main function before entering the choice. Means we will understand better. So, okay, I'll run it again. So here we have error, that is printf 55. So here I need to give printf. Yes. Okay, to solve this error, or this is not the error, this is a warning. So we will cut this display function and we'll paste it before the push and pop function. We will see now whether we will get the warning or not. Yes. Now, next. So, first I'll enter one element to be pushed. Suppose 10. So, here immediately I'm getting my current stack is 10. Suppose I'm going to push one more. So I'll give 20. So after in 20, I'm getting my current stack is 10, 20. We'll enter one more element, that is 30. And after 30, we are getting my current stack is 10, 20 and 30. Now we'll perform the pop operation. So if I enter 2, I'm getting the popped element is 30. Yes, because at the top of the stack was my 30 and the element has been popped as 30 and now my current stack is 10 and 20. So this is how we are going to perform the pop operations. And at the last, if we have to close the program, we'll press exit and will come out of this program. So this is the entire program for implementation of the stack using C. Thank you.